Mighty Morphin Issue 1 heads over 10,000 years into the past to the planet Artavius, where the Eltar Guardians battle Hartunian and his slave army, demanding they leave the planet. The villain attacks the Guardians as Zorfram proclaims he is the guardian of the planet, and the villain's actions violate their interstellar laws. Hartunian doesn't care, wanting to rewrite those rules so that they are chosen by those with true power. Zorfram attacks, prompting the villain to proclaim his empire begins today and it's time the Guardians were made an example of, demanding his slave monster eat him. The Guardians know that they are outnumbered, but Zorfram blasts the villain's monster in the face, breaking its chains, telling the Ortivox that they have been liberated and they are to waste their freedom either hunting them or they can get revenge on their former masters. The Ortivox turn on their former owners, rampaging through their ranks as the other Guardians congratulate Zordon on his victory. In the present at the command center, Zordon is perplexed that they can find a nebula hiding in deep space and watch a black hole collapse, yet they cannot find one rogue Power Ranger. Alpha says that they have spent 2 weeks searching the Morphin grid and even for a power coin fragmentation, and even then he and Billy couldn't find any trace of this mysterious new Green Ranger and where they have been hiding. Zordon has faith that Billy will find them, but wants to know how the other Rangers are handling the situation. Billy reassures him that they are doing great, as later Aisha tells the others that she cannot be the only one freaking out about the new Ranger. Kim says that they have dealt with new Rangers before, since it's kind of their thing. Aisha knows that, but their history with Green Rangers is a little different. Kim knows that whomever this Ranger is, he's on their side, but Aisha knows that they don't know who they are, and it could be anyone in the youth center. Rocky knows that she's right, but knows Ernie definitely isn't the new Ranger. Adam says what they are all thinking, that they know who the Green Ranger is, knowing that it was just a huge coincidence that the cameras that were monitoring Drakon went off the exact same time the Green Ranger was sighted. But Billy says that all the cameras in the command center went off, and it's how the Dragon Coin went missing to begin with. Adam knows that he can't prove Drakon was always in her cell, but Billy knows that it isn't how Drakon operates, and he wouldn't just help them and then hop back in his cell. Adam thinks that the villain is just messing with them, or someone made him do it. Tommy calms everyone down, not wanting to expose all of their secret identities before first period. He reminds them that they are a team, and if they stick together, they can survive anything, and he's not worried about anything, since maybe they will run into this new Ranger again, and they need to do everything they can to get them to trust them, since then maybe they will join the team. The team listen to Tommy, with Rocky hoping that the new Ranger is indeed Ernie. Above on the moon, Lord Zedd is still in his coma thanks to the Chaos Crystal being destroyed. Babu and the others wonder if they should go and find Rita, but Goldar says that she'd sooner stab Zedd through the heart than help. Babu does wonder if they should even wake Zedd, leading to the others calling him a traitor, but the villain says that no one wants him to wake up and destroy the Rangers more than him, but Zedd gave them the Dark Ranger powers and threatened their lives if things went wrong, and that gambit didn't go well for them. Goldar tells him to get to the point, so the villain suggests that if Zedd does regain consciousness, then they might suffer his consequences, since they are empty-handed. The villains think that they should get him a gift, a Green Ranger-sized one, that Zedd could take all his frustrations out on. As the villains leave to enact their plan, Lord Zedd begins to awaken from his coma. Back at the youth center, Rocky works out with his friend Matt Cook, arguing whether football is better than martial arts. Rocky says that football is all a big lie, since there's a bunch of guys made up a bunch of rules just to beat each other up. And say what you will about martial arts, but at least it's honest, with two warriors stepping into a ring and the best one leaves. Tommy arrives, hoping Rocky hadn't forgotten about his sparring session with him. Matt tries to introduce himself to Tommy, but the man is rather cold to him, telling Rocky that he'll be waiting for him elsewhere. Rocky wants to know what that was all about, learning from Matt that he and Kim used to date. Bulk, Skull, and Candace meanwhile talk about the big concert Candace wants them all to go to, but Bulk thinks that it's dumb, knowing that a music festival in a town where monsters are dropped from the sky should be called Monsterpalooza. Candace says that she thinks music is the language of the soul and transcends age, race, and gender, and connects them all through emotion, and maybe Bulk should open himself up to it. Bulk thinks that she's being a bit of a hippie, angering Candace, who regrets bringing it up, taking her leave. Skull isn't happy that his friend is picking on his girlfriend, noting how he always acts like that around her. Bulk says that it's because she's always around now, but Skull says that if he wants to keep hanging out with him, Bulk better get used to that. Kim and Aisha meanwhile talk about the upcoming test, wishing Billy could make a device that could beam the answers directly into their heads. Aisha does notice how strange Billy has been acting since the new Green Ranger arrived on the scene, but Kim stops her right there since nothing is wrong with him. Aisha knows that he's become obsessed with finding this ranger. Kim knows that that's what Billy does, but he's the last person who would lie to them. Billy meanwhile is told by Zordon that he doesn't have to stay and search for the ranger, but the boy is more than happy to stay and look, even packing his own lunch. Zordon jokingly asks for a bite before telling Billy of a tree back on Elta that grew the best fruit, which to him tasted like sunshine, with the best pieces of it growing right at the top of the tree, but to get them you had to watch out for the painful needles that they had on them. Zordon, however, would always power through the needles just so he could sit at the top of the tree and look at the clouds as he ate the fruit. Billy thinks that sounds nice, wondering if the man ever misses Eltar, and the being says he does every day. Downtown, a construction site is suddenly attacked by pandemonium and some putties. Alpha alerts Zordon, who contacts the Rangers, prompting them to morph and teleport to the construction site, battling the putties as Billy reminds them to keep damage to a minimum since the construction site could collapse right out from under them. Kim can't believe that they made a monster out of a cute little panda, wondering what the hell the villains will think of next. Tommy calls for the workers to clear the building as they spot the mysterious new Green Ranger battling pandemonium, who's glad the Rangers' multicolored friends have arrived, knowing that he will get a handsome reward for every one of the helmets he mounts on his pikes. The Green Ranger smashes the villain away as Adam contacts Alpha, asking if Drakon is still in his cell. Alpha tells him that he is, meaning that Drakon is not the Green Ranger. Tommy wants to worry about that later, taking the fight to the villain and his putties. As they fight, Rocky wants to know what they can call the new Ranger as Kim tells the new hero that it helps if he aims for the Z symbol on the putty's chest. The hero doesn't take note, blowing the putty off the roof. The Rangers regroup and confront Pandemonium, telling him Lord Zedd sent him to the wrong town. The villain has no idea who Lord Zedd is, since his masters are many and they command him to kill the heroes and retrieve the Green Ranger. The villain blasts the heroes back, with Adam almost slipping from the roof, but Aisha manages to grab him before he plummets to his death. Pandemonium tells Tommy to hand over what he wants and they won't be impaled, but Tommy attacks, slammed into the ground by the villain who wants to make an example of him, knowing Goldar will be pleased since he is going to take the White Ranger's sword as a trophy. Before Tommy and Saba can do anything, the Green Ranger rushes in, using his dragon dagger to strike the villain, blowing him up and killing him. Tommy says the entire time he was the Green Ranger, no one ever taught him how to do that. He tries to talk with the Ranger, telling him that it seems that they are all on the same side, so why doesn't the hero come with them to meet Zordon in the command center? The Green Ranger stays silent, teleporting away and leaving the Rangers with unanswered questions, only knowing now that the Ranger isn't Drakon. Goldar and the others meanwhile learn their monster failed, but Babu has another option to stop the Rangers. He reveals he could use one of his many potions to bring Lord Zedd back to life, but in doing so means they sacrifice their own life, since the universe requires balance. It doesn't matter however, as Lord Zedd is very much alive, with the cowards bowing before their master, who says that he didn't think that he would awaken after the explosion, which drove him to the edge of the Great Divide, but instead of killing him, it has now imbued him with the chaos energy and it has strengthened him and cleared his mind, meaning he now knows why he is there, and all his demons are returning to him, and he shall welcome them with open arms. Down on Earth, Candace walks home with Eugene after going to a restaurant. Eugene wants to apologize for Bulk antagonizing her, but she shouldn't have to get used to that. Candace tells Eugene that Bulk could set her hair on fire and it wouldn't change her feelings for him. The girl soon spots someone in an alley, pretending to have forgotten her phone back in the restaurant, so that Skull goes back to get it. While he races off, Candace goes into the alley, talking with some unseen being who has a message for her. Candace was told that she would have months or maybe a year to prepare, but the being says that they are moving quickly now. The girl understands as her skin turns blue, revealing herself to be Eltar, who knows her homeworld must be protected. Mighty Morphin issue 1 kicked off the new era of Power Ranger comics, allowing new readers like myself and old readers alike to jump on without necessarily reading the multiple books that came before. This first issue did a great job setting up the Green Ranger mystery, which, as the book itself says isn't something new that Rangers have had to deal with. I do enjoy that right off the bat we're taking some key players off the field and leaving the mystery to deepen as well, thanks to the cliffhanger ending. I enjoyed getting back together with these familiar characters, as well as time dedicated to Bulk and Skull, who I've learned thanks to the previous issues that Ryan Parrott wrote have had quite the overhaul in their character development, and I enjoy that they're not just slapstick wacky comedy characters now, and they are something more, and they're having actual development dedicated to them. I can't wait for the story to continue within this book, as well as next week's second sort of sister title to this, which looks to be following the Omega Rangers, which sounds quite interesting. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10.